I could catch wild brook trout, hybrid striped bass, and blackfish all in one day. I mean, New Jersey's insane with the fishing opportunity, no doubt about it. A lot of that's thanks to our hatchery, too. We do have a great hatchery, warm water fishery program.
Oh, yeah, stocking program. I said
the trout program can. Okay, so Yellow Dog Paddle finally put the boat into the Delaware River. Had 4 really nice walleye up to 24 inches. Said it was really hard to get the boat in the water in certain spots. That was before the rain, though, so it might be different now. I'll have to actually talk to him about that. But yeah, December walleye trips on Delaware River. He's doing 6 to 8 trips. That's all he's going to do for that. And he is available. He's booking those now. Also, this week he fished Round Valley again, just fished it today. Water temperature's 47 degrees. He landed 14 lake trout today. He was heading out tonight again for a trip on the Delaware River. So the fishing and trolling still continue to be really good on Round Valley also. So right now, Yellow Dog Paddle is doing well for walleye on the Delaware River and trout in Round Valley. So if you're interested in either one of those, call Yellow Dog Paddle today. Hello and welcome to episode number 82 of the NJ Multi-Species Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Santiago. As always, my partner, Chris Pereira. We have had some technical difficulties the past week or two with just outages that are giving us video mayhem, but we are okay now and back to functioning. Chris, right to it. We had a pretty rough holiday week. Started off Sunday on the fishmonger, hunted the whole week, and then went back on the fishmonger.
It may be one of my worst stretches of outdoors activities in quite some time. I can't think of a worse time. Yeah, it was not a worse time. I mean, whatever. We make the best of it, especially on the monger. You know, you got a great group of guys, and it's always a good time. But catching wise, yeah, two tough days black fishing, and the worst part is it looked like, depending where guys went, a lot of guys did pretty well around those days. But it was really
it was pretty interesting because, like, I like to pay attention to him fish, and I was kind of like watching him. He's just moving, and he basically, like, the way he said it to me is he's scratching lottery tickets, and eventually he's going to hit the right scratch off. Whether you're on the boat when he hits that scratch off or not, that's just, I don't know. You know, that's who decides that. But
I mean, yeah,
we would move. He would anchor up. You'd have no action. Then he would move again, anchor up. Maybe you pull 3 keepers, move again, maybe nothing. But you just keep hitting these wrecks and these rock piles. And he's marking each one off on the chart. And eventually he's going to hit that one. And then he's going to start to get into the zone where he's just going to pound on him. But, yeah, tough start. I think the strong west wind, obviously, is kind of limiting the boats to stay tighter to the beach. They can't probably get off to their wrecks.
Oh, yeah, the weather's definitely... the weather definitely limited his options the 2 days we went, but you know, it's like he said, and like you just repeated, I mean, we don't have saltwater boats, but we have freshwater boats. The same thing. You can't go out even on a place that you know really well, right? Even a lake. Look at a lake versus the ocean, right? It's minuscule. And even there, on a place you know, that you have confidence in, that you usually do well on, you go out there and you're not guaranteed anything. You have a set of spots, you have a set of techniques, and you go through them, and you use the ones with the high chance of success first, and you just go along your way, and then sometimes that's all you could do.
And he was able to limit the boat out on stripers basically without even trying, just on the way in the first trip, which was pretty hilarious. Just watching how fast we got to watch Walter Hewitt fight a bunch of stripers yesterday on an ultralight. I don't know what rod he had, but he was. I have video of that. I'll be putting up. That's hilarious. We have Sara Barton tonight coming on for a few minutes. She's pretty much a local resident of the Fishmonger, which we're in the middle of talking about. Deuce, let us know when she's ready to come in.
All right.
You're going to cut it? Okay, cut. Eddie Mackin's ripping...
Mackin's ripping lips fishing trips. Take it, Joe.
Eddie Mackin's ripping lips fishing trips. The pontoon boat's now out of the water. It's getting very cold. Mackin's getting ready to pull it soon, but he is still continuing to fish December, still continuing to catch some nice walleye. If you're interested in a night walleye jerk bait bite or swim bait bite on Lake Apacon, call Eddie Mackin's Rippin' Lips Fishing Trips today. Also, if you're coming to the Christmas party, Eddie Mackin and Yellow Dog Paddle are both giving trips away. So you'll have a chance to win a trip with either one of them.
And they'll be there.
And they'll both be there. Yeah, it's the ultimate package. Call Eddie. Okay, so just as we're talking about two rough trips in a row on the Fishmonger, we have Sara Barton. Sarah's a female multi-species angler who has been fishing New Jersey her whole life, also travels to Rhode Island and some other states, mostly tog. Sara, mostly tog, right?
Mostly tog, yep.
Can you tell me and Chris why the past week has sucked so horribly?
I don't know why you guys want to hear it from me. I'm no expert. It's just progressively, slowed down in New Jersey, which, has led a lot of people to travel more. Is it water temperature? Is it the pressure that the fishery sees? Is it the large striped bass that are around based on the new regulations? I don't know. I've heard all sorts of theories from plenty of people more qualified than me, and that's pretty much the consensus amongst the group. Is it right or wrong? I don't know. I know it's been a grind. Yep.
Now, Jerry Pastorino said these specific words last time we were fishing. He said that the tog fishing would get better up here on December 10th. I don't know where he pulled that date out of his ass, but he said that exact date. And of course, we have no more. We're booked on no more trips on the Fishmonger after that date. So I don't know if that's why he picked that date to predict when the fishing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just trying to get in your head. I don't know. I've talked with Jerry about it, of course. And last year we had a conversation about, it's almost the way it's been. It's almost not worth doing it until mid-December, but I'm a glutton for punishment and I have a problem. So I just keep going and going. And then we have the conversation oh, why do I have 12 trips booked before middle of December? And that's just the reality of it. So I don't know, but it does seem to get a little bit better, but it's you just don't always see a steady bite. As it gets cooler out, the bites slow down, but the fishing seems to improve. I don't know. I can't keep the trip straight either. So I really don't know how much insight.
You don't like stripers, right? You hate stripers.
I am not a fan of striper fishing. No.
Why is it? It's got to be the same theory as why so many people don't like largemouth bass. It's just because it's the most popular fish. It's the most popular saltwater fish. So you just whatever.
Yeah, and when they're around, they're easy to catch and they're not always challenging to catch. And I grew up bottom fishing. I like it better. I'm comfortable with it. It's what I want to do. And the stripers, it's like mahi fishing when you're offshore tuna fishing. Like it's nice to do for an hour and you catch a couple and then like you move on and you go back to what you came there to do.
Yeah, no, Gerry keep you out there till you can't see anymore. But we love it. I mean, you're out there. Joe has a bedtime that he tries to get home for, but other than that, I mean, we like it. Hey, you mentioned like you're a glutton for punishment with the fishing, and that's kind of like that's why we have the whole suffer for the fish thing. And you reminded me that we did leave a shirt for you with Gerry one day. Apparently,
I have it. I got the shirt. Actually, it was the day that you guys left me at the dock on the AB Reef trip. That was nice.
That was not my. I could explain what happened. That was he changed the launch time to go to a new spot in New York, and I didn't. Yeah. I forgot to tell you.
Usually, when the captain changes the time, you let the people that are coming know, though.
Yeah, when you ask someone to come, and I'll take a little bit of credit on it, but just like the smallest little bit, just because I'm friends with Gerry and I know how things go, that I didn't hear and I didn't ask, but I was en route for the time that we would normally leave, and
he was on the boat,
and that's not what happened.
He was laughing his ass off when he found out you were there waiting, so I'm ratting him out.
I wasn't. I called him for something, and he was like, he's like, we already left the dock. I was like, oh gosh. Nobody told me, but I also didn't ask when I didn't hear, and what they say when you assume, so.
No, I mean, don't take it. It's Joe's fault. He invited you on
the
trip.
I mean, it is Joe's fault, yes.
I didn't go. I got sick. I got a stomach virus and didn't go on the trip. I wasn't even there.
That's right. But just so you know, he never told me. I had no idea what was I didn't even know.
I made sure her shirt got there. I had to get out of bed sick and make sure the shirt got there. I did that.
So the text message couldn't happen at like the same time?
I forgot.
Yeah. Your hands are working while you're on the toilet. Your hands still work.
Oh my God! Well,
it's true.
I'm sorry. How many blackfish?
It's okay. I'll forgive you. You just hear about it till the end of time.
There's a couple questions that were actually emailed in for you. One of them is how many blackfish trips you book a year.
Well, I felt bad that I didn't know if I was going to make it, so I sent Chris a screenshot of my fishing calendar that's probably 90% full and accurate from the last month. There's got to be 10 or 12 dates on there.
And how many of those out of 12, how many get blown out?
Like a third to half, probably. Sometimes more, but that's pretty much. Well, I don't book them all. A lot of stuff is, the weather's nice on a weekend or whatever, or like the right invite comes for a weekday, and I take those. So I probably book 50% pre.
And you probably fish on the fish
and then just add other stuff in. But I don't do that for any other season of the year so much.
Just
out of all the trips that you book, like how many of the boats leave without you because they didn't tell you the right time?
None.
I blame Pastorino.
Just one, technically one.
Yeah.
Fishmonger.
That was the only time I can.
It's the fishmonger. All right, last question.
I gotta say it because I did it recently. I overslept on a trip.
Oh.
Not too long ago, but when they were calling me to see where I was, they woke me up in time to get on a different trip. So.
Okay, last question, and then we'll stop bothering you. If you had perfect ideal togging conditions, would you rather drop your rig or a jig?
I really love the jig. I just love the jig. It's a lot more fun, but the rig has its moments and it's nice, and it's what the conditions allow you for the day. Sometimes it's nice to switch it up and not do the same thing all the time, but the jig is a lot of fun.
There you go.
I'm kind of the same way, right? I think Joe is too, or he's kind of new to the jig. Joe is, but I love it. Like if I can use the jig, I always use it, and I'll only switch to the rig if the conditions like won't allow me to fish the jig properly. because I don't like going over like a 2 ounce. Or if I'm on a boat with a bunch of other guys and they're like crushing it on the rig and the jig's not really producing, then I'll switch too. But we actually posted some videos of like the rigs, just one that guys wanted to see, nothing that like we came up with or anything like that, just one that guys wanted to see what I was using on one trip, and another one that some other guy mentioned just so people could have a visual of it. And like there's in the tog world, I didn't realize there's guys that hate the jig, like they think it's like blasphemy. Like what the hell?
Yeah, I mean that's I can't speak to it, but I would think it's partly like old school versus new school, and like you get that challenge in anything when there's change or there's something new, and it's like not what you're not what you're used to, and you've been doing it for forever. I'm relatively new to the jig. I would try it, and like probably the last 3 or 4 years, I really spent some time with it and figured it out, and I prefer it. Your hands are warmer when it's cold out and you fish on the jig, just the way you hold the rod. Like that's nice sometimes. But normally the colder it gets, the harder it is to fish the jig. It just doesn't work as well. But I grew up, I learned fishing the rig. So
what's your PB?
14.
On a rig or a jig?
On a rig. But I had a 13 and a half the year prior on the jig, both around this time of year.
Oh.
Probably on December 11th.
Yeah.
My PB was December 13th with Alex from On Point. So that was good. That was a fun day. And then the one I had the year before was probably right around now. I'd have to look. And that was on the jig.
That's cool, awesome.
Yeah.
We need one of those.
We're still looking for
and
a double digit.
Both caught in Jersey, so that's exciting.
That's awesome.
I know I travel around, but it's rewarding to get it.
Was it North Jersey? You said with what boat did you say?
My 14 was with Alex with On Point in Barnegat. So
yeah, so
Central Jersey, but if depends on who you talk to about what New Jersey is, but
I mean you're not in like deep south, like out of Cape May, because we booked a couple of trips down there.
Nope.
It's supposed to be like a different world down there. You've been down there fishing for tog too, or?
I've been I've been out of Atlantic City, been out of Cape May. I'm going to Maryland tomorrow, so tonight, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, nice. So she's leaving. Okay.
Yeah,
so
we're literally taking up her time. She just got back from work.
I agreed on the date when there was nothing on the calendar, and now 2 weeks later, there's a bunch of stuff on the calendar. So
okay, listen, we really do appreciate you coming on here and taking the time to talk to us. The next time I'm back on Fishmonger, I'll make sure that you're on there, and I'll get the right time. I promise.
Perfect. It sounds good.
But really, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for having me. Sorry about the whole. Wasn't sure what I was doing, but
don't worry about it.
What we deal with here.
I got you. Well, good luck with the rest of your show, and we'll talk soon. I guess I won't talk to you because you got no more Monger dates till next year. So
yeah, we're banished.
April 30th. If you have any openings, feel free to invite us or especially Joe, and then give him the wrong time for the boat to leave.
I could probably make that happen. Yeah.
We have April 30th, I think. We'll be back.
Okay. Good. Sounds like a solid date.
All right. Thank you so much. No, it'll be horrible.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. Have a good
trip.
Oh, yeah. Good luck. All right. So pretty cool, Sara Barton. That girl's tough as nails, too. I saw her. She fell off one of the boats this year and fucking ripped her leg open. She had a bunch of stitches. She fished with us on the Fishmonger. She's tough, that girl. And she really fishes hardcore.
Yeah,
really
you know what
she
I
actually
works
in my industry too. Like she's a sales rep in my job, so it pretty cool.
You know what I meant to ask her? You introduced her again. It's the second time you introduced a female as a female angler. And remember the last time you did that, you got yelled at. Said You called me a female angler, but I'm just an angler.
Yeah, that was yeah. Okay. I've been yelled at for that 2 times.
Oh, twice. So then
Twice
I'm really sad that I forgot. I wanted to see if she had the same thing. I wanted to say, hey, Joe just introduced you as a female angler. Would you prefer that he just referred you as an angler?
One girl wanted me to call her a fisherman because she said the word fisherman has the word her in it. So she hated that I called her a female angler. Okay. And then I think the other one just hated that I said fisherman. She wanted me to use female angler. I think the girl fishing thing is cool. I like seeing the girls out there. I wish you'd see more girls out there doing this shit. They don't seem to want to get into it too much, but there's a lot of them that are into it. They're actually out there. And good. Yeah, we don't know how to listen, the truth of the matter is we're out there. I mean, we're shitting in a hole, pissing wherever you can. It's not exactly the environment that you're used to seeing females in some of the situations, but it's something that has to be dealt with. And yeah, so we're a little what's the word? Like, what's the grammar? We don't know the proper grammar to use yet for women. If there's a new term that's going to be invented. I know hunting, they call them huntresses, but even that word pisses girls off. Who knows?
Just go hunter. Hunter is not a male word. I don't get it. Even fisherman. Who cares? You say human beings. It all has man in it. Mankind. It's all people. It doesn't matter. And whatever. Like you said, I hope anyone that wants to fish or hunt, I hope they do it. Just do it. I mean, same thing with the hunting Nike. That we say all the time. I just started 2 years ago.
Now you're going to get sued by Nike. You just said just do it. That's Nike's thing.
Christ. All right, bring it on. Where's are we ready for
We're ready. If this episode's actually even recording, we don't know because we usually just sit here and talk into the microphones and then find out if it recorded later.
Yeah, I'm just that's how I've been just treating it. I'm just treating it as if nothing's happening right now. I'm just chatting. I'm just going.
We're going to go to cut because Deuce is getting upset. Okay, so now we have Mr. Gerry Zagorski, owner of NJFishing.com, here to talk to us a little bit about the Christmas party we have coming up and also the possibilities of some new striper regulations and some very important meetings that are coming up. Gerry, I don't think you're in here yet because I can't see you. So, there you are. Okay, there you are here, Gerry. Gerry, how are you?
Very good, very good.
Sorry to bother you. We know you're getting ready to go fishing in Florida, so we're sorry to bother you.
Yeah, man.
Who books a fishing trip in Florida when we're about to have some ice fishing? There's a Christmas party that you got to rush back to. What were you thinking?
Well, listen, opportunity knocks, and when you get invited, it's tough to say no, especially when it's almost 80 degrees down there every day.
Yeah, well, Gerry, let's get right into it because we know we all want to watch Monday Night Football. Everyone keep in mind that everything we're about to talk about is just a possibility, so don't jump off a building yet because these meetings haven't taken place yet. Gerry's going to tell us about a couple scenarios that could happen.
And we will hold on, Gerry. We're going to keep it kind of short for today, but we will do an episode after we have, the facts and everything. Yeah. We'll for sure have you back on if you're cool with it for a full episode to talk about that once it's, set or going to be set.
Great. Well, there's 2 meetings coming up here and one kind of deadline, right? The first meeting is on December the 5th, and all this is on njfishing.com under saltwater fishing. Click on striper meetings, and you'll see the links there. This first meeting on the 5th is basically an informational meeting that, they're just going to give the audience an overview of, what we're facing with stripers and talk about stock assessments and things of that sort, right? And then based on that information, when people have a good sound understanding about kind of like what we're up against, you can email comments into the Atlantic States Marine Fishery Commission, and those comments, public comments, are due by the 10th, the close of business on December the 10th, right? And then on the 16th, they'll have another meeting to, take in consideration public comments and start talking about recommendations. So, as of right now, I've been hearing we're probably looking at a 15% cut in our regulations, or we have to catch 15% fewer fish. So that means the regulations are probably going to need to be adjusted some way, somehow. Now, it could happen that they do nothing and kick the can down the street, a little further, right? But I think what's probably going to be likely is there's going to be some seasonal closures, and depending on where you are, those closures could mean, like in our case, maybe a Raritan Bay closure. In some other places, like the Chesapeake, where they're having a difficult time with the spawning fish there. It might be during their spawn there, but it's anybody's guess. It could mean that the slot will be adjusted, or kind of all the above. So we really don't know yet. We really won't get a good idea as to which way they're leaning until that meeting on the 5th, and after they've kind of consumed all those public comments, right?
If they did take the 15% reduction, would that be shortening the season or even squeezing the slot tighter?
Well, it could be both, right? I mean, it could be a squeezing of the slot if the scientists decide that that's going to get us our 15% reduction, or it could be that, they're going to want to close the season during those spawning years, because the problem right now with the striped bass is what they call recruitment. So that's new fish entering the ecosystem, right? And recruitment is at an all-time low, and it's been that way. The last good recruitment year we've had was 2018, and since they say anywhere from 70 to 90% of the fish, are from the Chesapeake. There's some things that are going to have to be done in the Chesapeake, and since we have a spring fishery up here, they want to kind of keep those fish in the breeding population, if you would, and so we might be looking at something. I mean, who knows?
I feel like there's always so many variables when it comes to this stuff that, like, and that's why I said we're going to keep this short for now, but for sure going to do a full episode on it later when we have more of the information set.
Yeah.
I won't even say set in stone, but what I mean. But that being said, without getting into all those details and stuff now, can I just ask, so the email, how you can email in public comments? Let me ask you this. So a lot of guys fish, even freshwater fish a lot. They might dabble in saltwater fishing here and there. They enjoy it. They just don't get out as some of these guys that only saltwater fish, or the charter captains that are out there every day that the weather will allow. Okay. So what I want to ask you is, if someone like that wants to send an email for public comment, but they're not really sure what to say that would benefit, everyone who's, an angler that wants this fishery to get better, remain good, however you want to say it. And, you get what I'm saying? Like, what would they say but they might not be sure. They want to help. They want to send an email.
Well, first of all, that meeting is an educational meeting on the 5th, right? So if you don't know what to say, you should probably tune into that meeting, right, to kind of get educated on what's happening. So whatever you're saying makes sense, right?
So the meeting comes first, and then the deadline for the emails is after that.
That's exactly right. Yeah, the deadline for the emails is the 10th. The informational meeting is on the 5th.
Jerry, I have to ask for your opinion because I have one email from a person that talked to me about this. They said that when the slot remains the same size over a certain amount of years, you're continuously killing the same size class of fish year after year.
Well, those fish grow, Joe. So don't forget that, right? So that fish that we were targeting the slot, last year between 28 and 31. That's a different age class of fish this year, right? They're a year older, right? So it's kind of confusing. But suffice to say, what they don't want to have happen now is 2018 was the last year we really had a good recruitment of fish that spawn, right? And those fish they want to protect that biomass, right? So I think what they're going to want to try to do is to kind of make a scientific guess as to, what size are those fish right now, and not allow you to target them, right? And it could also mean to stop fishing, right? Because they assume like 10% of these fish die once they're released, right? So even catch and release during the spawn might not, in their minds be a good idea, right? So, we definitely don't have a problem here in New Jersey. I mean, they're all over the place, but
that's why the conversation's crazy to me, because the past the past two couple years we've been out fishing, you can almost not catch a striper. You could walk across them.
Yeah.
And you're the second person to come on the podcast in a row that's kind of like almost kind of gloom and doom about the future of what's possibly going to happen. That recruitment number thing doesn't sound good.
Yeah. Well, no.
And you got to understand, obviously, what you're seeing when you go out fishing here. Like you said, we went out the last couple of times and the stripers. That's not anywhere. That's a small piece of the whole picture. And I mean, but that being said, I don't know what. I think we talked about this with the fluke regulations when they come up with, the science to back up whatever decision they come up with.
Mm-hmm.
There's always so many variables, right, that they
absolutely
can't take into consideration.
Nope. But the way the laws are written right now, right, and with the Magnuson-Stevenson Act and some of those things, they have to take some sort of action, right? When they see that there's warnings that, and the warning right now is 6 years of very poor recruitment. So that means, if you've got poor recruitment, you got fish coming out of the population, and you got very few coming in. They're thinking that times are going to get tough in the future, right?
And they're thinking that it's because they're not spawning as successfully, or that those
Correct.
fish. Okay.
Well, it's obviously that Chesapeake Bay thing is a major part of this, but there seems to be a huge argument over what the cause is. Like the one guy says it's the bunker boats, the other people say it's the agricultural shit.
Yeah, well, and there's other people saying that it's warming waters, it's deteriorating habitat, which runoff could be a part of that. And then you throw in a lot of guys are saying it's the blue catfish. They're an invasive species, and they happen to live right where the stripers are spawning in the Chesapeake.
Really?
Right?
That I never heard that one before.
It would make sense, right? I mean,
it does make sense.
I'm a big, Joe hates it, but I'm a big like Jurassic Park. Nature finds a way. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get sued by them, but
nature's not finding a way for winter flounder. Where are they? It doesn't find a way.
But it did find a way, Joe. Right? That's my point.
They went to Massachusetts.
Well, that's my point, right? So how do they know the stripers aren't successfully spawning somewhere else, and they couldn't record it? They didn't record it because they weren't checking there.
I think we have spawning fish, a lot of spawning fish, in the Hudson, Raritan Bay, kind of estuary. We definitely have spawning fish there. So, but again, they take these surveys, right? They'll go and they'll, put their net down and do a trawl or whatever, and they count the number of fish. And if it's more than they had, based on historical records, then it's a good year. If not, well, right? So,
but they can't take into consideration all these other variables. Like, did they find somewhere better to spawn? Did they spawn and leave faster than they normally do? Did they leave a different way? Like, did they stay longer and they missed them? And so they think there's there's just too many. Like, your head starts spinning when you think of all the possibilities of how they may estimate this wrong.
Yeah, very true. And, the other thing is that this 15% reduction, I mean, you can do whatever you want to the commercial side. I mean, it's hardly even a dent as to, the harvest numbers compared to the recreational fishing. It's both, retaining and what they think is going to die as a result of us, the recreational guys, right? So
yeah,
we're probably going to take the biggest shave on this out of the two sectors, right?
What else is there?
Yeah.
Well, all right, well, Gerry, we're not going to bother you too much more. We know you're getting ready for Florida, and you're getting ready to watch Monday Night Football. I want to ask one more question. I'm looking at the prize list here for the Christmas party. Curious how you plan to raffle off all these prizes and manage to sit down and eat something within 4 hours.
I know. It's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. But
it always. Do we have more than last year?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We actually this year stopped taking shit. Like we're not even accepting stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's bullshit. If someone called you and said they wanted to donate something, you'd take it.
It depends how good it is.
He doesn't win anything anyway. We never put his tickets in the basket.
That's true. There's always like a fourth bucket that's just for my ticket. But yeah, Christmas party does look like it's lining up to be a blast. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it should be a good time. Should be a great time.
It always is.
Gerry, as always, thank you so much for coming on here and for everything else you do for us. Thank you.
My pleasure. And make sure, if anybody has any questions, just go on the message board. There's some notes on there about the striper meetings and the deadlines and links and, things of that nature. They do have to register to listen in on that meeting on the 5th. So that's probably something that they want to get done here in the next couple of days. They plan to attend that meeting.
And I just want to add also, like you mentioned before, make sure you're checking on njfishing.com on the forums. Is that post stuck to the top there, Gerry?
I'll stick it right now. The regulations post was stuck, but I'll exchange it out and I'll sticky the meeting notice post.
So that'll be stuck to the top of the saltwater forum. And anytime there's any kind of discussion where you want a more professional back and forth with the guys, njfishing.com is the place to go. You can talk to guys there on that forum. It's a much more professional conversation forum than Facebook or under the comment sections of videos and stuff. So I highly recommend doing that if you want it to be a part of a real discussion.
Gerry, good luck in Florida. And thank you for coming on, dude. Send us pictures.
You got it.
Yeah, go get them.
See you, man.
Take care, fellas.
All right, so always awesome to have Gerry Z on here, njfish.com. So yeah, the Christmas party, if you're seeing this episode, the Christmas party sold out, but I may secretly have 3 tickets hidden somewhere, possibly, maybe. So if you do decide you want to go, I may secretly have 3 tickets left, maybe.
You should have released them into a lake or a pond somewhere in a mystery location in New Jersey, like golden tickets for Willy Wonka.
Yeah, there's a walleye in Lake Apacon, and it has a free party ticket in its stomach. So if you catch that one and fillet, you'll find
it. Dude, you're making a joke of this, and so was I at first, but now I think it's like, I mean, I guess technically it'd be littering, but if you know that? What?
Cabela's actually, maybe 10 to 15 years ago, Cabela's released 48 fish worth $1 million into 48 lakes in the United States.
I do remember that. I don't remember
one of them, the closest one to us, was Wallenpaupack. One of those fish went into Lake Wallenpaupack, Pennsylvania. It wasn't never caught, but
never caught, huh? Were any of them caught? Do you know?
There was ones caught in other states. Jersey didn't even receive a fish for some reason. Like, everybody got a fish.
Dude, I'm telling you, New Jersey gets shafted, but I'll put us. Dude, I post on like countrywide forums the fish that I catch here in New Jersey, and guys' minds are blown all over the country. Florida, California, Midwest. Their minds are blown with the amount and variety of fish we have here, and the size quality too.
Well, that's basically the gist of it. If you're a bass fisherman, Jersey is not the best state. If you're I don't know, whatever you are, Jersey's not the best state. But if you're
it's not a world class freshwater destination for any species, really. Although we did have the world record yellow perch from the Delaware River. It's retired world record, I believe.
If you're looking for a multi-species fishing state, it is one of the best in the country. And I'll die on that hill fighting it. Between our unique saltwater fishery and freshwater. I could catch wild brook trout, hybrid striped bass, and blackfish all in one day. I mean, New Jersey's insane with the fishing opportunity, no doubt about it. A lot of that's thanks to our hatchery, too. We do have a great hatchery, warm water fishery program.
Oh, yeah, stocking program. I said
the trout program can suck my balls. They suck. You guys suck. But the warm water fishery and Craig Lemon, you guys are phenomenal. Great job. The trout guys, you guys suck. Who's the guest next week?
Guest next week. I still haven't updated my written calendar that I hung on the wall for this. I didn't even change the date. Look at this.
We are going fishing on the Atom Bomb Saturday, Cape May. I still have a few videos to post from the Fishmonger if you want to see Walter Hewitt fight some big striped bass on an ultralight trout rod. I'll be posting those videos. But Saturday, hopefully we'll have some good footage coming in from Cape May on the Atom Bomb. First time we're going out of Cape May.
Frank Mihalik was just on there.
No, I saw it.
On there.
Again.
He caught a big one. Again.
She did. It was the red sinkers, too.
Frank, leave me one double digit down there, please. And then I'm going again with Walter Hewitt, Tim Keebler, a couple other guys.
The day of the party.
We're going the day of the party. I already had it booked before we had the party date booked, and
I was on the trip. Back. I was on that trip. I had to cancel it because I have to set up chairs for you assholes to sit in.
Nah, don't start that. You could make it back with us, just like we're gonna make it back.
I'm too tired, dude. I don't have the drive for this shit anymore. Who's the guest next week? I'm done with it.
You have been very sleepy lately. We've got Greg from Fisherman's Headquarters coming in.
Oh, that's right. Fisherman's Headquarters. Another big tackle shop from a little more South Jersey than we usually go, but we are trying to get more tackle shops on the show. So Fisherman's Headquarters is a pretty big one.
Yeah, it's not a tackle shop that I've personally been in. I don't think, maybe a long time ago, maybe once, but I can't remember. But yeah, we
is it Long Beach Island?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to say the wrong location.
Yeah, I don't want
to blurt stuff like you do.
I do. I'm pretty sure it's the tackle shop I go to for shark bait all the time when I go.
You do use it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go. But anyway, either way,
their social media is huge too. I follow their Instagram. They have a pretty big Instagram following and shit. They post a lot of like cool knot videos and stuff.
Yeah, I do think I've seen some of those. Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't matter. Like if anyone listening has their favorite tackle shop or something, and the owner or an employee of the tackle shop wants to come on, talk about whatever they want or whatever the hot topic is for, and plug their shop, like, you're always more than welcome. Like, reach out to us. We wish more people would reach out to us instead of waiting for us to reach out to them. Like, we want more guests. We want anyone who wants to come on here to come on.
That's not true. All right.
What do you mean?
Will be. I know. I'm just kidding.
It's 100%
I'm trying
true for me.
It has been. We have not ever turned anyone down, have we?
No. The closest we've come to turning someone down is this guy was being a real douchebag on the internet, and I invited him on, but I told him he had to send like a resume to the email. And like if he did, I would have let him on, but he wouldn't do it. So he never came on. But I didn't turn him away. He was being a douchebag.
Fisherman's headquarters is in Ship Bottom.
Ship Bottom, okay. Yeah,
I don't think we're going to be back next week with Ship Bottom. We're fishing Saturday on the Atom Bomb. If you're seeing this episode, I have 3 hidden party tickets left that I've been stashing for last minute. I actually had 4 of them, but somebody asked me today already and bought 1 of them. So, because I just plan on that shit happening, but I do have 3 more.
Hey, before you cut the show, I just want to say I really like. Nothing we've done has jinxed it yet, so I'm just gonna say it. Like, it's getting cold. Like, we're at that point where we're cold enough.
Don't say it. I wouldn't even bring it up.
All right,
I wouldn't even be bringing it up.
It could happen.
Don't even say it.
All right. Then
it is possible.
Cut the show before I say it, because I want.
The wind has to sit. If the wind stays flat, there is a chance.
Joe, let me tell you something, Joe. The early spots locked.
Oh boy. All right.
Yeah.
We will be, so we might have maybe next week we'll be, who knows? I'm not even going to mention that. We'll be back next week with Fisherman's Headquarters and hopefully a good report from the Atom Bomb holding 2 double-digit tog like Frank Mahalik does.
Suffer for the ice fishing. I said it.
Fuck. We're done. That's it. Okay, so we have Stinky Steve Casiello for the weekly Signal 11 deer hunting report. Today is December 1st. Steve, where are we? Where do we stand? What should we be using?
December
All right.
2nd,
oh, is it the 2nd?
Today is
December 2nd.
Today's the 2nd, yes. Muzzleloader for New Jersey. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Everybody's recovering from Thanksgiving. I don't know who got out there today. I know I did for a morning and afternoon hunt. Basically, where we're at now is we're finally getting the cold weather we need for movement. I had movement today, both where I was and on my 4 or 5 cameras. I have cell cams, so they're out there. They were moving early, actually before daylight. So pretty much where we're at right now, as I mentioned. Second rut to a couple people, and some people get all wild over it like it's going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and it's usually not. But there will be deer coming into heat that haven't been bred yet, whether or not whether this is the first time they're coming in because they're young or they just didn't get bred last time. But it is going to happen. I personally run my scrapes. I'll go back to the estrus scent again. A couple more days. I mean, they hit the scrapes today a little bit, but you can't really count on it. It's not even a fraction of what the first rut is, but you're still going to have that action. The key, though, I think now is this time of year is the afternoon food sources, whether you have food plots or corn piles or food scent. The afternoon food sources between the bedding areas and the feed areas is really the key on where you're going to have to be. And then the rutting activity, a little bit that we will see, we may get lucky and get some chasing.
Did you hear a lot of shots go off today?
I didn't hear a lot of shots. I'm going to say I heard nothing early, which was shocking. Where I was, there's state land around me. I'm on private land, but I think I heard a total of 2 shots that were probably muzzleloader shots.
Wow.
That was it.
Well, let me ask you this, Steve. You said you had a lot of activity. So Joe and I hunted Friday. I think Friday afternoon and Saturday afternoon, right?
Yeah.
And we had 0 action both days. The one day, the buck that Joe wanted to shoot came 15 minutes after we left.
Yeah.
which is crazy to me. But our cameras are also have been dead the last 2 days, and I'm not sure why. I think it's they're both spots that we bait. I'm think maybe the food ran out, maybe it need to be rebaited, but like dead.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I tell everybody, if your camera's dead and other people's are not, make sure your camera's working, because I got to be honest with you, if the cameras are finicky, if they're cellular, if they're not cellular, you're usually okay. But my cameras have been on fire for the last 2 days.
I got a picture of a squirrel. My camera is good, but the deer didn't come back.
Yeah,
the last 2 days, and I was having good
Thanksgiving.
action.
Thanksgiving, the camera was insane with bucks, and then we went the next day and nothing.
Well, yeah, I mean, like today, for example, I picked the wrong spot. I base it. The way I hunt now is, like a lot of people do the same thing through the whole month of October. I don't, but what I do now is I try to not screw up areas by going in the morning that I know are going to be decent in the afternoon. So I get out my trusty 5-gallon bucket and I move around to spots that I'm not too worried about screwing up. So today I went to 2 different spots where I was hoping they'd be pushing them off the state land. But there really didn't see. I actually didn't even see any cars there when I took a break during lunch. So I don't know how many people are in the woods. I only heard one shot from that area, but that's basically what I'll do right now. Is so anyway, this morning I'm in a spot sitting on my bucket and in front of my ladder stand where my son and I just doctored up a scrape on Friday morning. I think we did. Yeah, Friday morning we doctored up a scrape. I did a post on it, and all sure enough, a shootable buck was there at 8:05 this morning. Normally, I would hunt that stand. I just don't normally hunt that this time of year because it's more of an afternoon stand. So this is a buck I've only seen once or twice on camera. That's the other thing. A lot of these bucks that are more mature are, they're gonna eat right now to put the weight back on, but they will look for the remaining does that are going to come in the heat. And I mentioned this last time, the New Jersey buck to doe ratio is so out of whack, even though we're allowed to shoot so many deer, that there's definitely does that are going to be that were in heat, didn't get bred. Not a lot of them, but there are. And then you're going to have the young ones for the first time sporadically coming into heat over the next, could be this month, could be next month, right into January.
All right, cool. Steve, as usual, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And I'm actually learning a lot. Chris, you have to start going and baiting the stands again because they need to be refilled. And you live closer. But
it's a lot of work, and
it is a lot of work.
A lot of times I just want to go fishing, and it's kind of tough to find it. I'm kind of starting to realize that I'm going to have to sacrifice more fishing to really.
If you want to stop complaining, you got to.
So we're looking at possibly 2 more shirts. Sacrifice the fishing for the hunting, and then, of course, sacrifice for the deer.
Yeah, suffer for the deer.
Possibly 2 more shirts in the apparel line.
Steve, when we come back and have you next Monday, it'll be opening day shotgun season. So hopefully you'll be out next Monday and you'll have a shotgun report for us Monday night.
Definitely. If you guys if you're running bait sites, keep them going. And
Chris,
don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to use some scent as well.
Put it in there.
I've been holding out for the buck. I know Joe wanted a buck, and I was kind of holding out because we got the tag that we pay for and stuff. But I think I'm just gonna blast 2 does with 1 arrow and just fill my freezer and go back to fishing.
Whatever makes you happy.
Ted Nugent style. All right, we'll be back next week. Steve, thank you so much.
All right, guys. Good luck. Take care. See you next week.
Good luck too.
Take care, Steve.